Do you remember back in the beginning of April when President Donald Trump announced the Liberation Day Tariffs and the following chaos that followed in the form of liberal outrage and fear-mongering that we had to deal with on social media, leading to comments like, "The Great Depression was literally created by the Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act." Love the Canadian and British flag next to his name there too. You gotta love foreigners who have the nerve to give economic advice to America, the strongest economy in the world. Or how about this one?
The second Great Depression being triggered right before my eyes as I graduate university in 36 days.
And the sad thing, of course, is that sounds like a university graduate, someone who's just undergone 4, 5, 6 years of liberal brainwashing. Of course they were thinking that we were entering a Great Depression because of the Trump tariffs. But did that actually happen? Is the Great Depression still coming? Are we in a Great Depression now without realizing it? I'm going to answer those questions right here on American Advocates. Now, I've made several videos on the topic of the Trump tariffs so far, and in a lot of those videos, I go out of my way to call them tariff pies. And it's not just me doing that to be outrageous. The reason why I've been calling them tariff pies is because with tariffs, something that we haven't utilized to their full effect since, quite honestly, the late 1800s and early 1900s, they take a little bit of time to be baked into our American economy again. Anybody who's researched this topic understood this. So, of course, the announcement of the Liberation Day tariffs created a little bit of fear and panic in the markets, which didn't help confidence for investors, and of course the markets did decline quite a bit the following week. But what I would say now is, May 5th, 2025, we are now 1 month and 3 days in. These tariffs are very well baked into the American economy now. And what are the results? Well, to help demonstrate what the results aren't, I'm going to use a few more comments that I personally received under my videos talking about the Trump tariffs. What I'm about to show you is my favorite series of comments that I had with somebody who kept coming back week after week to try to instill the fear in me that had been instilled in him by his liberal media overlords. And it goes like this.
They will follow him into the abyss. Stocks good.
I respond, the stocks are actually really good. I bought the dip too.
What stocks did you buy?
I bought Apple and Nvidia last Tuesday. I said this 3 weeks ago. Notice the difference in time. He comes back 2 weeks ago, 1 week later.
Update, Nvidia was 112.20 Tuesday, April 15th, now down to 95.87 Monday the 21st. Buy the dip, laugh emoji.
Which I reply the only way an investor should reply. Hell yeah, I'm buying it again then. I knew this would outrage him. And so his final reply to me,
don't be stupid. They will be 1/4 of the current value within 3 months. But it's not my money.
And the series of comments ends with me coming back to personally thank him for informing me of that dip, that Nvidia dip down to $95, because truthfully, I've been so busy here on YouTube, I probably wouldn't have noticed it to be able to take advantage of it. But thanks to him, I did notice it, and I took advantage. And for the sake of Josiah SE, the commenter in that series, let's take a look at where Nvidia stock currently is, shall we? As you can see, I have April 8th highlighted, where the ultimate dip was experienced pretty much after the announcement of the Trump reciprocal tariffs. It was down to 96.30 on the day end of April 8th. Where is it now? 113.87. It is up 16.62% this past month. So once again, to commenters like Josiah SE, I just want to personally thank them for informing me of when the dips were. But it gets better than that, because not only is our stock market pretty much fully recovering now that these Trump tariffs have been baked into our economy, but the results of these tariffs continue to get better seemingly day by day in the news. Countries like China continue to play this tariff game completely wrong, attempting to play tariff chicken with President Donald Trump, and it's going horribly for them, resulting in President Trump calling their bluff and ultimately raising the tariffs up to 145% on the bulk of Chinese goods, decimating their economy. And the benefit we've seen from this trade war, especially with China, has been incredible. Just last month alone, the U.S. generated $17.4 billion in revenue from collecting on these tariffs that President Trump has imposed on pretty much the world. And if you thought China losing money on these tariffs was where it ended and that was a victory enough, well, you'd be kind of correct, but it doesn't just end there. Probably one of the best things I've seen out of this is Vice President J.D. Vance flying to India to discuss a new partnership with Prime Minister Modi of India that will likely result in a 0-for-0 tariff deal with India, as well as America agreeing to move a lot of our manufacturing and production out of China and into India. This is phenomenal news because, as I've discussed before several times in other videos, China despises America. We should not be fueling their economy. India loves America. The fastest growing economy in the world right now is India. So choosing them as the country to start producing more of our stuff in, to strengthen their economy, to help ours out, mutually beneficial compared to using China, who steals our intellectual property and openly hates us while they also hold their hands out and gladly accept our American dollars, is the ultimate win. The moral of this story here is when it comes to liberal propaganda, rhetoric, and fear-mongering, all one has to do is just be patient. And usually, it's not even an exercise of extreme patience. Typically, you just have to wait around 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 weeks at most, and a lot of what the liberals wind up telling you is going to happen is proven false. Perhaps this is why their party approval rating continues to decline, down to 17% according to some reports. They just keep getting it wrong, which is resulting in them losing more and more control over the minds of many Americans, as more and more Americans wind up waking up and seeing the Liberal Party and the liberal media for what it is: Trump-hating, agenda-fueled fake news.